Wow, I'm so happy that we... Ow! That was my watch! I'm so happy we are finally out of the hurricane, so we finally can get this metal pieces out. And I literally felt a couple of months that I was living in the submarine.
You have been living in a submarine. So many people ask what these things are. They're 3/8" thick aircraft aluminum, and they are storm shields. So coconuts, flying debris, everything else, we put them on, and St. Augustine lived through that hurricane. We're gonna take them down. We got in Daytona Beach, we lived through that hurricane, and then we got in a few more other storms. So finally we're down here. It's cold, but I think the storms are over with.
Yeah, that's what we think. Shouldn't we though maybe leave them for our crossing in Bahamas?
If we have that kind of a problem, I'm turning our ass around.
All right, well, you never know though, right?
The windows are able to handle the broadside waves. These are more for hurricane and projectiles flying through the air.
All right, well, it's your call.
This time, let's mark these things because it took us, what, 2.5 hours to figure out which one went where?
About 2 hours, yeah.
So. Ow!
Sorry.
Tell me to wait?
So this one is gonna say what?
Come on, peek through the window. All right, so this is gonna be starboard or some port. I better be alive so you know who wrote this.
Are you implying that I can't read English?
No. William's not here. Where do we put the cover? Hopefully we're not.
William is not here. Are you kidding me?
I said I hope William I'm alive.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's. We're gonna put this side up now that we have the starboard side all finished. Maybe.
Manual overtake, please.
Hit the hole.
Okay.
Next. After a lot of testing and now realizing we might have to go 5 or 10 miles to get to an anchorage or to get somewhere, we have decided to upgrade from the small electric to the 14 horsepower electric ELCO and a pair of batteries. So I'm about to drill some holes in a brand new Highfield, and we're going to do testing on this Highfield with the 14 horsepower electric power system. And here we go today. Let's put some new holes in a new boat.
I wonder with this man why we can't just for once leave something nice and new alone.
After a lot of research, I also decided to go with an electric trim system. A, so we can raise the motor out of the sand or rocks if we're in like really shallow areas, but then also so I can properly tune this motor because this has never been on a Highfield before.
Sure. His project, but who is drilling the holes?
So we did a lot of research on all of the electric systems out there, and the ELCO is what I went with for multiple reasons. Number one, it is a Suzuki bottom end, so it's a true outboard bottom, which is very rigid and proven. It's got the electric motor on top, and it can run on anything from AGMs to car batteries to lithiums. It doesn't require a special power pack. So you plug in the connector from same as a forklift, and whatever battery you want attached to it, it's good to go. It's got an electric throttle that attaches to the dinghy, so it's very simple. It doesn't use anything that's proprietary, which was pretty important when you're traveling all over the place. As you can see, we started with a t-shirt. It was warm out, the sun is setting, and finally, after drilling the holes 3 times and making them larger, we're able to get this bracket mounted. There is sealant on the inside that I applied first and let that dry a little bit. Always the hardware is too short. So back to Western Marine tomorrow to get longer hardware. But at least I've got the holes drilled and these first 2 mounted. This wind is a nightmare, and the slip is made for a 30-foot boat. We're 60. So we're gonna have to keep on adjusting these bumpers until this wind dies down.
Just let me know when it's my turn to adjust them. I ordered Starlink like a couple of months ago. We set it all down. It worked for like 10 minutes. We were happy for 10 good minutes, and then it just stopped working. We wrote to the support, no response. And we're like, okay, we're leaving in a couple of weeks, so we better return that one and order another one than trying to wait for a Starlink support request. And so that was our decision. So that's a new one. William was ordering this one, so I hope that he has a better luck than I did.
I was so excited. They called from the office, said my Starlink was in, and I get this box. I'm like, yay! And I get a bracket. That's it. So a week later, the real one came.
What's different about this Starlink than the one that we had?
We're about to take it apart, and this is actually for RV, which is different than the one that is high-end for the house. So the RV is a whole different type of deal. So we're gonna get it unpacked and hopefully get hooked up later. Oops. Dive in and get it. Oh, who needs instructions anyway? We never use them. We're like men, you know. Instructions are something you read after the stuff's broken. All right, this is it. You can go live. This marine trip, now we get the motor over here. It's only 75 pounds because a lot of people always ask, how heavy is that thing? So now we got to lower the motor. It's going to be tight. A little more. No. Pretty fortunate to have found a slip that I could move the boat close enough to get this mounted. Let's go ahead and try it up there between the 2 solar panels.
All right.
That's where it's going to look the best, but I don't know if it's going to function the best. And rotate it because the skinny side, like that.
I'm not gonna mess it up.
Well, the boom has nothing on it, and the boom I can slide to the side. It doesn't have to travel in the center.
I see.
So the time that we're using mizzen mast is never going to be, or mizzen sail is never going to be in perfect center.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's one location, which is pretty simple.
Where else is it?
And then the other is, come on over here.
Like
You
this?
probably have to step on the railing so you can get up there.
Out.
Don't throw the Starlink in the water.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't think I can.
There you go. It's going to be mounted just like that.
How does it look though?
That doesn't look bad, actually. I mean, yeah, it's a Starlink. It's not like you're hiding it.
The only other option I've seen that people were putting it on the poles, on the sides of the boat, like kind of like a wind generator style.
Right. But problem is that because we're a double ender, the boat's very narrow in the back and the stern. So we're going to hit it coming into a marina for sure. Like we hit the dinghy motor and we use the dinghy as a bumper. I don't want to use the Starlink as a bumper. So I think we put it here for now. It's there. And we make sure this thing's going to work before we get all extravagant on where our mounting is.
Right. So let's try it right somewhere, and then we see how it works there. And then if it works, then we can
get fancy.
Final decision, right?
Seeing this boat is such a fashion statement already.
It's a fashion boat.
As mounting the brackets for this Starlink, I thought I better go online and check what's available for mounting options and find out there's an actual app within the app of Starlink. So you can point it at the sky and go from west to north to east and then up above, and it'll collect all the data and then show you if there's obstructions. So on 8 different places on the boat, it's a no-go. The location we were thinking about isn't too bad. It shows us that the mast can be in the way in some instances, but because we're going to be at anchor, we're really not going to know that. So I think we're going to mount it there now, and then we can always check the location when we drop an anchor. So what I've done is I've added a network cable. Well, it's now going to be a switch cable, but I can attach an extra cord over to the shifting area, and then I can put a switch. So if I want to bypass the BMS or the current sensor, I can do it with a regular switch. But I can still leave the battery just the way it was designed.
So why are you taking all these brand new batteries apart? I thought we already been using them for what? For like a couple of months, and they've been fine. It's like, do you literally have to do this with them?
Remember when I tried to go get full throttle and it would go into an alarm state? Well, that's because we had one battery. What I found out is that you have to have 2 of them connected all the time, and there's still a fail-safe that if the current's too high, it's going to shut down. So I'm going inside, bypassing that, and I'm going to have a little switch on the throttle. So when I want to have full boost, I just flip the switch on, and then we have full power without having to worry about the safety factors.
Kind of sounds dangerous. You sure you know what you're doing? Because I've seen all those videos on YouTube. Be careful when you disassembling the battery, only professionals, etc.
And I don't look like a professional. I better hurry so we can get it open. I think I forgot a screw.
Well, I still think that this is very dangerous because you are bypassing something from manufacturer and modifying the battery.
Is the battery under warranty? No. So does it matter? No.
It matters. Because if it's not going to work, we don't have a deal.
You know, I'm starting to realize that my job is to make you worry.
You're quite successful at that.
Now you should be worried about me because I'm down here with a whole lot of voltage.
I am worried.
Oh, yes? Gonna catch me on
Fire.
video? Catch you on fire. Mere mortals. You know, I could probably tell you in dentistry, why would you mess with someone's teeth? a 51.2 volt, 80 amp hour pair of batteries. So you have a 1 and you have a 2. These two guys are running together, then to run over through a fuse, from the fuse over to a control relay. The control relay then is activated by the BMS and the power switch and runs out to the positive terminal. The negative side of the battery runs over to a pair of fuses that goes directly out to the negative terminal. So when we push the power switch on, you're going to hear a click. And now what it did is that has engaged that large relay, and now the batteries are functioning. And then to turn it off, we have to hold and wait. And so we learned the hard way by running one battery in the system that when we added a second, we have to connect them through the can in and can out so that the two battery BMSs are talking to each other. And now when I push the power button, run, the relay will kick in, and now we're ready to function. If there's any problem or any error, the alarm will come on and it'll shut down the battery, even if it goes into low voltage. So by being combined, we will no longer have 80 amp hour, we will have 160 amp hour. The 14 horse motor takes about 90 amps. So we'll have plenty for getting the boat up on plane.
What happens if it doesn't shut down?
It has to shut down. It has the same BMS circuitry, the same alarm circuitry. Nothing has changed there at all. But after shutdown, I have the opportunity to flip the switch and then still run the system if we have to have a get home. You'll like it when you're stuck somewhere and you have to flip that switch on. After 2 days of running around and getting hardware, we finally have this dish ready to go up. And turns out that the connector is supposed to be in the front. So I had it mounted and I had to take everything apart and turn it around. So finally we can get it up here so we can plug this thing and try it out. If I don't drop it in the water.
Is it done?
Almost. Now to put the last 2 screws in. The hard part's over with. While you were running, I ran all the cables to the inside, which actually is just about as difficult as mounting this thing.
Just look at this. Engineer, as always, just can't run, he just can't run the cable through the windows, through the door, or something like that. He has to run the cable somehow through the whole panel, and we don't even know if that's gonna work yet. That's my husband. So I'm just coming from the shower. Let's see if the engineer on board was able to connect the Starlink or not. I'm gonna fall over here and die. Resting?
No, working.
You working on Starlink?
Both.
Let's see.
Starlink's online.
Online. Are we in?
You're gonna have to dance for a password.
So it's working?
Yeah?
No, I mean like it's working, like we can...
Surf porn or what?
It's 100%?
What do you think here? I'm a professional installer. You're out getting clean and taking a shower and I'm putting up the satellite system.
Alright, guys, looks like we are connected. Now I have to go and check this out because I don't believe this guy sitting here on the sofa.
Yeah. Good.
More?
Now lower me down.
More?
Hold it for a minute. All right, I'm gonna get this one organized in here, and then we're gonna do the same thing with that one.
Crank it up. Right, clear.
Stop.
I'll let you down.
At the down.
That's it.
It went into alarm again with only half speed. So we can go 5 knots for a very long way, but that's not what I'm interested in.